Hi everyone, welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to give you some information on the next estimation technique, which is planning poker estimation technique in Agile. So this is another very interesting technique that is used by Agile teams for story estimations, and let's look into it. So this is a technique that is used by teams for detailed level estimation and when there is enough time to discuss on every story card. Okay, so here the team, they know exactly what has to be done. There's enough of information about each story, and also the team has enough of time to discuss every story. Okay, so that's the real essence about the planning poker estimation technique. Now let's look at the procedure. So initially, every team member of the development team will be provided with a set of cards, same that as in which is in poker. So you see, every team member is provided with the same set of cards with the same points also. Okay. So if you see here, the three are having the same cards. The next step is the product owner or the business analyst will explain every user story to the Scrum team, which consists of the developers and the testers. So after everyone are clear about what is the story about, the third step is once the development team understands the user story, each member starts to estimate the story by showing a card with a number that represents a story point or the actual hours. Okay, so now here these cards, either it can be represented by story points or it can be the actual number of hours to complete a story. So depending what is the card type of, what happens is every team member, after listening to the story, they would process the information and they would come up with a estimation. Okay, so let's say the first user A, he estimates that the story might take 1 point. The next user, she might say that it might take the 3 points. Similarly, the other users also, they might estimate, let's say, 1 point. So the next step is the team members with different estimations start to discuss their opinions in order to come to a conclusion. Now you cannot have multiple story point estimates. Ultimately the team has to come to a conclusion as to what is really the story point estimate. So here the two members who have two differences in their opinions, or if it's going to be more members, all of them would sit and discuss as to why they came up with that particular point estimate. Okay, so let's say this user on their end, they would explain saying that why, what reason was behind their decision to give it a 1 point for the story. Similarly, the other user would give their reason behind which they took the decision to say it's a 3 point, and after which if both comes to a consensus. So let's say here the story seems like a 1 point to me, but this story definitely seems like a 3 point to me as I considered four scenarios. So maybe some users or some people of your team would not have considered some scenarios which made them estimate it with a lower point. So after this discussion, they would all come up to a consensus saying that, okay, yes, it might be a 3 or it might be a 1 point. So this process is repeated till all come to the same conclusion. And this is about the planning poker technique which is used. And the main advantage of using planning poker is this technique avoids bias, as rather than estimating in a group, a team estimates individually so that everyone reasons out and comes up with their estimates. So usually when you're in a group and someone says this is a 3 pointer, though you might have a valid reason that it could be a 1 pointer, still because everyone says it's a 3 pointer, you might actually, say okay, it might be a 3 pointer, you might prove yourself wrong. But in which is done, prone to other estimation techniques. Like I had taken a video on the t-shirt sizing technique where it's done in a group. So at that point there is a chance of bias when you work in a team. But when you do it with the planning poker style, here you would be doing it individually. So you'll have a chance to reason out and come up with your answer and the reason behind which you estimated it. So that's why this is a very powerful technique when you want to estimate user stories. So if you haven't seen the video on the t-shirt sizing, you can click on the link given in the description box and you can take a look at that technique also. So if you found this video useful and helpful, please do give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe to this channel and also do share your feedbacks. Thank you.